Hey everyone, I've been teaching music students online since the start of the school year. And even though the vast majority of my students are doing a wonderful job and have adapted to online instruction and learning, I still have a handful of students that have struggled with keeping their cameras on during rehearsal, maintaining some focus and engagement. Sometimes they even will join the Google Meet, but then there's radio silence, there's no camera on, there's no participation with questions. So I wanted a way to be able to communicate this information to my parents. So I wanted to show you how I solved this problem, what I made, and how to do it so that you can do it too and communicate this information to your parents. Now, there are a few things you're going to need to do before you can send out this information to your parents. First, you're going to need to create a progress report template. Then you're going to create a Google form to enter that data. And then you're going to install an add-on called Autocrat, which will then send your parents the PDF of your progress report. This progress report template. This is going to be your master copy that can be reused each week. There are some important components that you should have on here. First of all, you need to have your rubrics on here, and these can simply be made by inserting a table. You can also color code it if you wish. I think that adding color just adds clarity. It's just much easier to see the information when it's done so clearly in a color-coded manner. You also need to have text on here. There's some important things like student name, so the parent knows that they are looking at their child's information. Having your name on the class in the class that you teach. Also having a short paragraph description on what it is that you are reporting out. And then you also need to have an area where you are reporting out the student data. So on-screen participation, you can see here in red, this is where that information is going to go for this particular student, and then the same for the engagement and focus. Now, these are called merge tags, okay? And we're going to get into merge tags a little bit later on in this video, but I just want to let you know what you're looking at there because they're super important because that is where your student data is going to be inserted. I also like to include a header because I think it gives it a nice professional touch to your progress report. Next, we have your Google form, and this is where you're going to enter all your student data. Now, you want to preload this Google form with your student names here. I just have 3 sample student names here, but you can simply copy and paste from a spreadsheet, which is really the quickest and most efficient way to enter that in rather than typing them in line by line, especially if you have a lot of students. The next thing you want to include is a image of your rubric. And really the best way to do that is just get an add-on there. You can take screenshots and then take a screenshot of your rubric from your template and then save it as an image. And then you can put that right in here right when you give it a heading. So this is on screen, and then you can click on this image button here and insert this right here. I just find this is an easy way to keep track of what it is, the data that I'm entering. Okay, and this is simply a multiple choice type question here, and it just reflects the information on the rubric. So excellent, satisfactory, needs improvement, unsatisfactory. And then I have to do this again for engagement and focus. So again, this was just a screenshot, and I imported that here into the Google form. And then again, I have my multiple choice here, excellent, satisfactory, needs improvement, and unsatisfactory. Okay, some things you might want to add in. If it's easy for you, you might want to also include the student emails. I do that later on, as well as with the parent emails. I just find it's a little bit easier. It's one less step I have to do when I'm entering in this data onto the Google form here. Now, when we actually view the form, you can see that the students are in a simple drop-down menu here, which really makes it quick to select the students and enter that information in. And then you can see how easy it is to enter in the data here. So let's do our 3 students here. Okay, and we submit. And then all you have to do is submit another response for this. And we'll do one more. Okay, so we've got our data entered, and then I'll show you what that's going to look like in our spreadsheet. Going back to our Google form here in editing mode, all right, let's go to responses so we can see the data that we've entered. All right, and it's nicely organized. That's why I love spreadsheets. It's important now that we talk about the names of our columns here. And we want these names to be exactly the same names that are on our progress report template here. Okay, the only difference is these have the chevrons around them, but we're just double checking that it says name, on screen, and focus. Okay, name, on screen, focus, yes. Any discrepancies will cause problems and your mail merge will not work correctly. Okay, there is a column I'd like to add here, and this is emails. And these can be student emails, parent emails, both, if you want to report out that information to both parties. But I find the best way to do this when I have my whole class in here is to then put this in alphabetical order and then add the parent emails afterwards rather than doing it in Google Forms. It just eliminates a step, and it's really easy for me to copy the parent emails from another spreadsheet and then paste them in here. And I just double check that they line up correctly with each child. Okay, so for now, we're just going to put in my email address. So this is all the information that you're going to need. The next step is we're going to install our Autocrat add-on. Now, Autocrat is a free add-on here. It's available in spreadsheets. Now I already have it installed here, so I'm simply going to launch it, but you want to go to Get Add-ons and then search Autocrat and then install it and then come back up to the menu here and you will see it. So we're going to go to Launch right now. And I'm going to show you then how to get started here, setting up Autocrat to do your mail merge and then send out those progress reports to your parents. So our third and final step now is to set up Autocrat. And this allows our data from our spreadsheet to be merged with our progress report template and then ultimately emailed out to our parents. So let's get started here. We're going to click on New Job. And we're going to give this a name here. And simply hit Next. Okay, and we want to select our template. So let's find this template that we've created in our Google Drive. Okay, here's our demo template. And we simply hit Next. So this is where we want to match up the names of our headers with the names on our progress report template here. So you can see here in the middle, we have name, on screen, focus. Those are our merge tags from our template. And we want to line these up with the names on our columns. Okay, so Autocrat does that automatically for us. We have name already, on screen, focus, and we don't need to fix anything because it's done it correctly. So we're going to hit Next. And we want to give this a name for the file. Okay, and then we want these to be sent out as a PDF, and then we want to leave it as multiple output mode. Okay, and then all of these progress reports that are going to be created, we want them to go into my Google Drive. You can create additional folders, like if you want a progress report folder, I do that, and it just makes the information a little bit more organized. So if I have to go back and find it, if a parent asks me about it, I can easily do that and know where it's located in my drive. Okay, we don't need to do an add dynamic folder reference, and we don't need to add any merge conditions either right now. Okay, do we want to share docs and send emails? Yes, that's kind of the whole purpose of what we're doing here. We want to share this out as a PDF. Do we want to allow collaborators to reshare? Sure. And then send from a generic no reply address. No, we want that to come from our email address. All right, so step 8 here, sharing docs and sending emails. This is where Autocrat is going to enter our emails. So if we go over here to the sidebar and then we simply click on it to copy it, and we're going to paste it into the to section here. Okay, reply to, we can enter our email address there. Parents can simply reply right to that. Okay, subject, these are progress reports. And we can also type in a short message here. I like to copy that first sentence of my progress report and paste that in here so the parents can see what it is this email is about. And then we're going to hit next here, and we don't have to worry about any triggers. And we're going to hit save now. So once my Autocrat job is saved, you can see here that I have a few options here. If I hit the play button, that's going to run the job. I can still go back and edit it if needed. You can simply view it, or you can simply get rid of it. But we're going to run our Autocrat Merge so you guys can see exactly how this works. So let's run our Autocrat Merge. Here we go. Now, it does take a few minutes to run a mail merge here. Obviously, the more entries you have, the longer it's going to take. So don't be alarmed if it takes a few minutes, especially if you have a lot of students, to merge all of this data and then get it put into the spreadsheet here. Now, if I scroll to the left or to the right here, you can see your actual progress reports that are saved in your Google Drive. And if I click on this one here, I can actually see my data. So here's student name, and I have her data pushed out correctly here. Okay. Autocrat will also tell you that this information has been emailed out as well, where it says document successfully created and document successfully sent, which is kind of cut off right now. But you will see if there is an invalid email, it will say that this email was not sent and there was an error. Okay. So that's how you create a progress report in Google Docs and set up Autocrat to send those out. It's awesome. I love it. You can also use this for some additional things like sending out student certificates. You can also send out test or quiz scores. If you collect that information, you want to report that out to students or parents. Autocrat has all kinds of uses. There's also some really helpful YouTube videos on how to set up Autocrat even further and all the cool things that it can do. So thanks for watching, and best of luck as you create your own progress reports.